Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, sharing, liking, and subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it for joining me today, hopefully for the premiere, but everybody's welcome whether you make it to the premiere or not. This is going to be my full moon in Aquarius reading. The full moon in Aquarius does occur today for many of us around the world. For some, you may have seen it yesterday, or perhaps even tomorrow. I am first going to tell you what I feel about this moon. So last month with the Capricorn moon, the buck moon, I expressed that that is my least favorite moon because with the buck moon tends to come a lot of abuse and murder of innocence and largely black people. And not just off the top of my head, you know, I pointed out to articles and stuff. And if you look up people that were lost, you know, to let's say like senseless police shootings, you know, of innocent people and things like that, it's often during that period of the buck moon that it covers. So it's my least favorite time of year. But this moon, the Sturgeon Moon, can be a lot better. It can be a lot better. There's room for a little bit of both, for it to be sort of tower-like in that it could be negative or positive. It's sort of neutral and could go either way. And I say that because sturgeon is like an ancient-looking fish, at least to me. It looks like a half dinosaur, half catfish sort of thing. And sturgeon actually means stirrer. And it's like a shit starter to me, you know, like the energy. That could be good or that could be bad. You know, it's going to stir some things up. Also, like I said, it looks kind of like a catfish. And so I feel that it could be connected to a lot of people and or things, situations that had been like illusions, facades, fake, phony. People wearing masks and stuff like that. People being catfishes. You know, you're pretending to be somebody you're not. You're trying to get over on people by taking on somebody else's identity or persona. Like all that kind of stuff could go down during this period. That's my feeling. That's nothing from an astrologer or anything like that. That's the kind of information that I get about these sorts of transits. So yeah. As far as things being stirred up, like I said, that can be positive, like immediately from the onset too. It's not necessarily a negative thing. And Aquarius, the constellation, the sign, does push us toward freedom and humanitarianism. So in actually getting things done that we had dreamed of doing for a long time, actually doing them now and breaking free of maybe fake people and or ourselves, our own fakeness, our own masks, pulling them off, or we're going to cease to be a catfish in this period of time. So what else is going on, not from my perspective, but in terms of the planetary calendar, the celestial calendar, so to speak, beginning of course today, August 15th, 8:29 a.m., the full moon entered Aquarius, 22 degrees Aquarius, which is a master number, of course. Master number 22 equals 13 or 4 or 11, 11. On August 15th at 1:18 a.m., Mars will enter Virgo. August 19th at 10:47 a.m., Jupiter will be semi-sextile Saturn. August 21st at 5:06 a.m., Venus enters Virgo. And I think that's particularly interesting. Well, the fact that Venus is in Leo right now and sort of in direct connection with the sun, I think is super, super positive for us and should work in our favor in terms of things being stirred up. August 23rd, the sun enters Virgo at 6:02 a.m. August 29th, Mercury enters Virgo at 3:48 a.m. Mercury, which rules the sign of Virgo. So it'll be like going home, so to speak. And August 30th, at 6:37 a.m., the new moon in Virgo. So this reading will go through today August 15th through August 30th. August 29th, the day before the new moon in Virgo. 6 degrees Virgo. On that same day as the new moon, the Hebrew month of Elul will start. And that's a month of like getting your shit in order, getting your house in order. It's like a time of repentance and preparation. Reminds me very much of like the scripture Matthew 24:42. Like just to be prepared, because you have no idea at what point the universe is coming to stir things up, right? God is coming to change things. So that's the kind of month it is. It's the last month of the year. And so it's a time when you reflect and you prepare for the high holy days to come, one of which is the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. And it has to do a lot with like introspection and searching within. And in fact, Elul means search in Aramaic. So we have that going on. At the same time, also on the 30th, because Hebrew and Muslim holidays or feast days start the Sunday of the day before. So also on the 30th, we will have on the Islamic calendar, the Islamic New Year. So the Jewish last month of the year in preparation for their New Year, which will be in September, and the Islamic New Year happening now on August 31st, but again, beginning on the 30th at sundown, the night before. Also on the Christian calendar, today, the 15th, is the feast day of the Assumption of Mary. So Christians all over the world believing that this is the day, or at least the day that they recognize, they've decided this is the day that they recognize Mary having been assumed into heaven, having directly ascended there without having to die. That feast day is today, the 15th. It's also, I don't believe I almost forgot this, it's also the 15th of Av, which doesn't always fall on the 15th of the month of August, because it's based on the Jewish calendar, but it happens to fall on the same day today. It happens to actually, the 15th of Av is falling today on the 15th. And what the 15th of Av is a Jewish sort of Valentine's Day is what it's come to be, but it was originally celebrated, the way I learned the story years ago, originally celebrated as like a soulmate day in the time of King Solomon. And so it's currently, it's like an ancient Jewish tradition that's been revitalized, and now they're celebrating it, somewhat more like Valentine's Day. But it's Soulmate Day on the Hebrew calendar, and has been for thousands of years. So I think that's cool too, and that should maybe stir up some things in a positive note, maybe in one's love life. So we'll see. But first, let me go to also the almanac. I like to take a look at the almanac when I do a full moon reading and see what they have to say about it. Sort of not only for the education, but in honor of Benjamin Banneker, who, the African who invented the Farmer's Almanac back in the 1800s. So, full moon for August 2019, Sturgeon Moon. This was prepared by the editors of the Almanac on August 14th, so yesterday. The full moon for August 2019 rises this week. Here's the date, time, and meaning of what we call the full Sturgeon Moon, as well as moon phases, best days by the moon, and more. So they first do talk about the moon phases. If anybody's interested in that, I'm just on almanac.com/content/full moon-August. In ancient times, the changing seasons were often tracked by the lunar month, not the solar month. Today, we've adopted many of these full moon names as a nod to the change of seasons too. Think of it as a way to stay connected with the natural world around us. Specifically, Native American tribes often name the months after, quote, start of season, end quote, cues. These names could differ by tribe depending upon where the people lived. The full moon for August is called the Sturgeon Moon because Native Americans knew that the giant sturgeon of the Great Lakes and Lake Champlain were most readily caught during this full moon. Other names for this full moon include the full green corn moon, signaling that the corn was nearly ready for harvest. The wheat cut moon, moon when all things ripen. I think that's pretty interesting too, in terms of as a metaphor, right? Moon when all things ripen. So it's like you've been trying to cultivate something, you've been trying to manifest something. This is the period where you should see results. It's also called the blueberry moon. What is a sturgeon? Oh, they're gonna explain probably a lot more eloquently than I just did. These prehistoric looking fish, so they agree with me there, have been traced back to around the year 136 million years ago. 136, 613 transposed, or 19. And many people call them living fossils. Females require around 20 years to start reproducing, 11. And they can only reproduce every 4 years. 13, 4, 11, 11, master number 22. However, they can live up to 150 years. 6, Mother Venus. Love, justice, balance. Today, there are about 29, 11 species worldwide, including the lake sturgeon found in the Great Lakes. They've evolved in size from the size of a bass to monster sturgeon as big as a Volkswagen. The lake sturgeon is quite rare today due to intense overfishing in the 19th century, also pollution and damage to their habitat. The word sturgeon means the stirrer, which is what this giant fish does when it's looking for food. It stirs up the mud and silt on the river lake bottoms. Notice the pointed snout and whisker-like tactile organs near the mouth. So if you look at a picture. They also have a full moon in sturgeon video here for those who are interested in that. They tell you the best days in August to do different things. For cutting your hair or to slow down growth. I don't know why anybody would want to do that, but it says do it on the 21st and 22nd. To quit smoking, the 17th and 22nd. A lot of people do like to release those types of habits and things in a full moon, so that's a good one. And for cutting hay, I don't know of any of my viewers who might be doing that, but if you are, the best days to do it are the 18th, 19th, and 20th. Clothes washed for the first time in the full moon will not last long. If you glimpse the new moon over your right shoulder, you'll have good luck. To have a project prosper, start it during the new moon. And babies born a day after the full moon enjoy success and endurance. With that, I'm going to start my first spread. I think I'm going to give these cards a shuffle first so that I can just use them without having to pause and shuffle in between afterwards. Starting with my butterfly deck, which I like to use for my full moon readings, and realizations and epiphanies. So I think, again, things being stirred up, maybe coming into information. Join in for me is about voluntarily moving forward as opposed to having to needing the universe to take you kicking and screaming. Parental care could mean a lot of different things. It tends to come up with these full moon readings also, and sometimes is literally meaning, maybe finding some sort of hospital or hospice or nursing or special housing, or it could just be nurturing yourself. You might be the parent. You just might need to nurture yourself. Like you give your all to your kids and your mate and your spouse perhaps, or friends, work, and it might be time where you need to nurse the parent, which is you. Can also mean that. Leaving mean different things too. Vacations, moving on, could be a metaphor. Leaving that old place where you were in terms of religiosity and or spirituality, ascending to a new level. I'll do one more. Grief work. They decided I'm doing two more. And finances. So grief work often shows up in terms of letting something go and the mixed feelings that we can get about needing to move on. It's like happy for a situation or circumstance to be over, but then also it's mixed with sadness. Let's say like a divorce. You've been married 10 years or whatever. You might be miserable in the marriage and want to get out. So it's good in that sense, right? It makes you happy in that sense. I'm finally out of that. But at the same time, it's sad. Like, you know, we tried, we did our best, it didn't work. I feel kind of guilty. I feel kind of failed, whatever it is. Mixed feelings. Same thing can happen with a job. You know, moving on to a job, you get a promotion, you get a new job. You miss the people and what you did at your old place, and so it's mixed feelings. You like your new big check, but you miss some of the other aspects. That may also be why finances is coming up. Some change in that regard. And also body changes, which you look at this cocoon here that this butterfly has left behind. I think that this could be, for many people, the mask falling off, like I was just talking about. People being a catfish, people hiding behind a fake life or, you know, lies, a facade. Possibly even ourselves being who's doing that and needing to emerge from this cocoon, in our real form, right? Our new form, our renewed form, our true form. Overall energy for this deck is parental care. For at least some advice, I'm going to use my surrender deck to see what in particular, you know, each archetype should be letting go during this time. And I'm beginning with surrender to complete healing. Open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. And opening to surrender to non-action. Now's the time to be still and to not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power and let others come to you. Surrender to complete healing. Surrender to your intuition. Tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. Surrender to your intuition. And one more. Surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right by yielding, not rigid. This will help to resolve conflicts and to improve your relationships. And opposite, surrendering to non-action. It's like not being reactive, I think, in certain situations. We don't have to react to every single thing. And when we do, you know, there are different ways to react. Surrender to denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. Overall energy is surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help to bring you clarity or even solve the problem. My Keepers of the Light Oracle, beginning with Master Jesus and forgiveness. You're on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this time. And opening to Diana, focused intention. Think about what you desire, set your sights high, and expect the best possible outcome. Master Jesus. Holy Amethyst, divine alchemy. Move beyond current challenges. Focus on what you desire. Holy Amethyst. And Gaia, earth connection. Be mindful of the planet. Come back to earth and stay grounded. That's a good place to stop, I think. And that brings us to Lady Nada, heart awakening. Awaken to acceptance and divine love. Give and receive in balance. Overall energy is Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. And lastly, beginning with my Animal Tarot, the Princess of Spring, energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. And opening to the Three of Winter. Sadness is part of life. This is what I was talking about, the mixed feelings, because this is an opportunity for something new and awesome, right? Representative of Jupiter, Sagittarius, other fire energies, Leo, Aries, and then this is the sadness here, Three of Winter. And sadness is part of life. You don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. Princess of Spring, and the Ace of Winter. So it's like that hurt is in the past, and here's a new beginning. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. Ace of Winter. Ace of Winter also a card of victory. And the Seven of Winter could be someone or something, including ourselves, trying to take away our joy. I call this card the representation of the energy of joy stealing. Caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources like time or peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions as well as what others might be doing behind your back. Ace of Winter. And that brings us to Major Arcana card 14, Balance, which is another card that's representative of the sign of Sagittarius. We just started with the Page of Fire, basically, Page of Wands. And now this is Balance in this deck, but in the traditional tarot, it's called Temperance. And it's a very healing energy, right? It's very healing karmic energy, the universe sending you healing. Also, it's about working out differences, collaborating, and, coming to agreements, maybe despite our differences, like how this black and white and the zebra were able to come together to make one beautiful zebra. By merging varying points of view, you can generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. Major Arcana card Temperance, again, represents the sign of Sagittarius. I just had the Magician and the Six of Winter jump out. The Magician, representative of the sign of Gemini. One of the negative attributes of the Magician is it can be that person that's wearing a mask that I talked about in the beginning with the Sturgeon. So this could be representative of that, but in the positive, it's all about manifestation and you having everything you need in your capabilities to manifest your desires. There's magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need to be successful. And then it looks like you do, including perhaps a vacation or a move or something with the Six of Winter. Can be metaphoric movement. It is movement nonetheless. It's always movement. So either it's a metaphor or, somebody is physically moving from one place to another, perhaps just visiting. The challenging times are coming to an end, and you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let go of the past and embrace the happier times that are ahead. So I'm just going to stick these in arbitrarily. I was doing a bit of shuffling in my hand when they jumped out. Overall energy is the Seven of Summer. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. This Seven of Summer, although it's not a court card or a major arcana card, for me, always tends to represent the planet Neptune and the sign of Pisces, which it rules. Because the card, to me, is all about illusion and head in the clouds, clouded judgment, not knowing what's real, what's fake, or to be able to see through it, doing a lot of daydreaming or dreaming in general. Perhaps to the positive about your goals, dreams in that sense, goals and dreams. Can also be about one night stands, interestingly enough, in terms of relationship and things for me. All right, parental care. Divine being a couple. Recent past. Masculine higher self. Let me move these. Near future. Blocks the individual or shared purpose, progress, including union. Or purpose, yeah. What the feminine can do to help herself, what the masculine can. What the universe would have and encourages both to do, would like both to do, but they have to first affirm themselves, even wants to help them to do, right? They have to first affirm, commit to doing it themselves. And the outcome. I just want to also, with this, what can we do to help ourselves, add some of these surrender cards, because perhaps letting go of something will help us. Divine being a couple. Retirement. So letting something go, leaving something behind, putting something down, could be, very literal, leaving a job. Especially since I saw something connected to that and mentioned it earlier as I was shuffling. It could be leaving a job, moving on to another place, whether promotion or, because you've just grown older and tired of working, whatever the reason. But it's hanging up the old jersey. It could be in relation to a relationship. Could be a habit of something that you're no longer going to continue. You're putting down that habit. You're quitting smoking, for example, like we read about. Recent past. Welcome the new. So something may have been initiated with the new moon earlier in the month, right? A couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, right? And now we're upon, the new moon in Leo 2 weeks ago. And now we're upon this full moon. So most recently, we welcomed the new, and now we're in the cycle where it's time to let go of stuff again. So let's see what happens in the near future. Forgiveness. Letting go of some feelings, negative emotions or something we were harboring, releasing those and replacing them with forgiveness, compassion. Masculine's higher self. Where is he right now? Seeking and finding. Perhaps himself, going within, like I talked about with the month of Elul, which towards the end of this period for which this reading is when we enter that, but we could be beginning now, trying to find out who am I, where am I, what am I, and maybe removing a mask, as I suggested. If it's not about yourself, seeking and finding yourself, it can be in other people, like seeking and finding the truth. Who's the real you? What's the truth here? Masculine dealing with that. Blocks to individual or shared progress. Lack of support has been the block. This could be, again, being self-sufficient, supporting yourself, and or, getting help from others. There's been a lack of it. How can the feminine help herself? Changing your mind. That's interesting. Reconsider something of the path that you're about to walk, because you know what? That's coupled with surrender to your soul's path. So something that you're wanting to do, that your soul is desiring you to do, that you're ignoring and moving towards something else instead, reconsider doing what it is your soul is moving you to do. And it could be something like a job that pays less because it's a spiritually based business or something like that, or you want to be an artist, and artists starve. So that could be why your mind, your logical mind, is fighting you and saying no, don't, leave your job and stuff. But this card is suggesting that you surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. The masculine can do to help himself: moving. In addition to surrender to inner peace. Cultivate inner peace on a daily basis in quiet, meditative moments. Focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. So this is possibly connected to seeking and finding, right? I said it could be about going within, introspection. Surrender to inner peace is the masculine's guidance. So maybe moving into a new, this could be literal, involve literal moving, and that may help you to find more peace. Feng shui, qi, or just moving to a place mentally, emotionally, spiritually, where you are more at peace. But the universe wants to help us with taking the next step now. So moving forward. If you commit to doing it and ask the universe for help, it is wanting to help you with this. And the outcome, leaving, which is very cute to be crossing, moving from the masculine. It's like, okay, you want to do it. You're claiming you want to. This is what's going to help you. And then here we're actually taking this next step. We're actually making the movement. The leaving is also crossing the take the next step now card. So I think that's pretty cool. So there's progress. Progress is the outcome. I just want to do another one using these to get like a different outlook overview. So divine being a couple there, recent past, masculine's higher self, near future, blocks to individual or shared progress, what the feminine can do to help herself, what the masculine can, what the universe wants to help us with and wants to have each of us do, but we have to first affirm. It's our free will choice to do it or not, and the outcome. Divine being or couple. The Prince of Autumn, trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. So the Prince of Autumn, or the Knight of Pentacles, indicates slow but steady progress, moving toward a goal. It will be successful. The Knight of Pentacles is said to always be successful. The only of the four knights that you can definitely count on, because he is so pragmatic and he makes a plan, and he is so detailed and goal oriented that he doesn't fail in carrying out those goals. So that's where we are. Recent past. Opportunity came up. Opportunity knocked. The Princess of Spring. Energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark original and fresh ideas. The Princess of Spring for me is a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, as the Prince of Autumn may be an actual, direct earth sign in your life, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Near future. The King of Winter, intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find. I think in part, this King of Winter that's in the near future is representative of Mercury entering Virgo, which again, it rules. But more importantly, it guides us to say what we mean and mean what we say in all situations that come up. The King of Winter is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, and for me is often like a professional, like a judge, a lawyer, a doctor, somebody that we're coming into contact with on a professional basis. It could be a friend, right? You may have a friend that's an air sign or air sign like, who can help you to work through situations and scenarios, because one of the most positive things about the King of Winter is not only is he direct and to the point, like it's not personal, right? It's never personal with him. He's just telling you, calling it like he sees it, and he's very fair and diplomatic. So he's looking at all of the different sides and giving you a true assessment. But so far we have 3 characters, or 3 potential characters on the table, which is also interesting. We could be coming into contact with a lot of people over the next couple weeks. Masculine higher self. The Prince of Spring. Very nice. An opportunity arises that needs your attention right away. Yeah, here's the news of the opportunity, and then here's the opportunity showing up right on top of it. How cool is that? Moving quickly. Moving. Wasn't that the masculine's card in the last spread? That was his advice of how he could help himself, by moving. Moving quickly is important, yet there's nothing that you can't handle if you follow your inner guidance. And his other bit of advice was to go within, right? To seek and find. I think that's pretty awesome. In the same exact placement. Blocks to individual or shared progress. Queen of Autumn. Thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. You'll be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. So you could have a block that is literally a direct earth sign, and maybe even more to that, further to that, an earth sign female that's older, like maybe like your mother or your wife or something, and that person may be a block. Other meanings for this in this position, that this is a block, it can be you're failing to, again, nurture yourself and to care for yourself, and to be fair in situations, to consider forgiveness and compassion, and thinking of other people, considering, being considerate. Can also have to do with your feeling like there's a lack of resources. And so you're saying, like, the reason I haven't moved forward is because I don't have the money or the wherewithal to do it. But you could have an actual problem, because if you look back, like the past 2 weeks or so, my love and or general readings for the weeklies, I've been having, for the masculine in particular, this Queen of Autumn to show up. And I felt in large part, in a lot of the cases, she was a Taurus, but she can be anything, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And there may be something specifically going on with a couple, not necessarily an earth sign couple, but this Prince of Autumn can be representative of a with the Queen mirroring one another. It could be representative of a couple. So can this, really, the Prince and Princess of Spring. Perhaps in this case, well, actually in the other case, like one a little bit older than the other, or more mature. What the feminine can do to help herself, right, in consideration of the blocks. Ace of Spring, a new opportunity, just, go for it, pursuing passions, chasing dreams. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may come as a surprise, like out of nowhere. And here, I love this again, because here we have it crossing the opportunity. Here's news of the opportunity telling you it's bubbling up, it's coming, it's stirring, and then here it is for you. Wonderful opportunity presents itself, may come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. What the masculine can do to help himself, it is the world. So it's releasing something and moving on from it, being moved, and it's allowing the universe to help you to do it, to be moved from a situation that isn't working for you, maybe slowly and steadily, into something that is better, right? It's similar to the Tower for me, but the Tower is abrupt, right? The Tower all of a sudden takes us out of a situation out of nowhere, like we don't see what's coming. The world, it requires a little bit more patience on our part, or it can. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you've set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons that life offered you with grace and courage. What the universe wants to help us to do, and wants us each or both to do, and even wants to help us. New starts. The Princess of Summer, and like forgiveness and expressions of love. Sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced. You can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. The Princess of Summer is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And the outcome. Wow. Again, good news. The Ace of Summer. This is like one of the best full moons so far in terms of the cards I've seen in a while. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, because Ace of Summer can be about reconciliation and reunions, or it's in the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights, which we also saw could be coming for us. So, again, speaking of increased awareness and spiritual insights, beginning with Master Buddha, just want to clarify here what we have. I'm not even going in my usual order of how I lay the placements. I'm just laying each next card. So now, atop the Prince of Autumn, which again may involve an actual earth sign, is Joan of Arc, voice of truth. So that's connected to that Mercury thing that I was feeling, ruler of the Prince of Autumn. It makes sense that it's crossing this king here. It's very Ace of Swords, and she seems to have like a huge sword behind her, and she is dressed like a soldier, which she was. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, and release the fear of persecution and speak your truth. This could be guidance, again, specifically to an earth sign or earth sign-like person to get something off of their chests. But in this placement, it was representing all divine beings and or couples. In the recent past position, atop the Princess of Spring and the opportunity, we have divine director, intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. So something's giving you an opportunity, just like it said here. The universe is giving us an opportunity. Know that you're being guided, and happiness is your purpose. Near future, atop the King of Swords, Mother Mary. And I told you today's her feast day, right? Love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. So like I said about the King of Swords, he's super diplomatic. He doesn't have to be right. He's just telling you what's here, what's here, what's here. These are all the sides. I'm going to be fair to everybody that's involved, right? Including my enemy. That's what Mary's wanting us to do too. Because in a sense, as stern and stone-faced as he can be, that's showing another party love, right, and compassion by being fair with them that way. Masculine's higher self, atop the Prince of Spring, the Knight of Wands, the Holy Spirit. Expect miracles. Well, this Knight of Wands is very representative of the planet Jupiter, planet or god Jupiter, which is the god of karma, and does bring us miracles, gifts, luck, some would say, based on how we've behaved. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. Blocks to individual or shared progress, charity, prayer, and contemplation. So not nurturing yourself, not taking care to focus on your intent, your desires, make your intentions, your manifestations, to go do your introspection, sort of hermit-like, which is a Virgo, or even Hierophant-like, which is a Taurus, is the block. You're guided to connect with heaven and ask and you shall receive. How else can the feminine help herself? Atop the Ace of Spring is Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Told ya. Choose to be love. Do what you know is right for everyone involved, like the King of Winter Swords is sitting here next to you, and offer a helping hand. Atop the world, what the masculine can do to help himself is Master Jesus and forgiveness. You're going to begin with you, and then it's extended to whomever else is needing of it from you, for you to release it. Like when we fail to forgive, it hurts us, not like other people, because we're harboring those negative emotions. They're eating us up inside, not somebody else. You're on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this time. There can also be an actual situation with one's father, perhaps represented by the King of Swords, maybe he's a direct air sign too, with whom you have to like heal the relationship. That may be where the forgiveness is necessary between the two of you. And it's funny that we have Mary, not only Mary and Jesus sitting here next to each other, but we have like mother sitting atop father, the father energy. What the universe wants to help us with, atop the page of cups, Krishna, devotion. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized and you are loved unconditionally. So it is an expression of love, a message of love, like pages of cups tend to bring. And atop the Ace of Cups, our outcome. Green Tara, supreme protection. You are protected, cords are being cut, and you can move beyond limitation. So this is limitless abundance is the response, which is basically what the Ace of Summer is. Complete emotional fulfillment if we just trust. Further to that, advice for the masculine. Kali Ma, facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. It's all being stirred up, and now's your chance to deal with it. For the feminine, Radha, soul flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. Right, by dealing with ourselves first. So forgiving ourselves first. Focusing on ourselves, nurturing ourselves first. For the masculine, from the surrender deck, surrender to your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. So you're guided. Look at this Leo, the lion here. We're still in this energy of Leo. The sun is still in Leo. And like I said, Venus is up there with him. And this is kind of like a Venus figure standing here with this lion. We're guided to call on that energy and acknowledge that we have it. Feminine, surrender to success. You are ready to experience abundance. Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities. And from the butterfly deck to the masculine, finances. So this is the focus for you, which makes sense here with the Queen of Pentacles, essentially being here in this like block position. Is a time to focus on finances. Maybe getting your, bills in order like a Knight of Pentacles would do. Also, I'm feeling that some of you are due some sort of finances, maybe whether it's an inheritance or a settlement or something that you've been working toward, and you're guided to not give up on that. That's a separate message that just came directly to me. And lastly, for the feminine, religion and spirituality, which ties in very, very nicely, I think, with soul flame. This is about our soul's ascension, and then in connection with divine partnership potentially as well, as is religion and spirituality, like beginning to understand the difference between the two and how they can connect to us in terms of our romantic lives as well. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this reading. You want a private reading from me, you can just reach out at any of my social media. And same thing for the healing. Again, I thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll be back with my weeklies. Love and general. Namaste.